Alright, I found something weird again, so grab a snack, get cozy, and let's go down this rabbit hole together. The ocean is a really weird place all around. There's no denying that. It's huge and largely undiscovered, but it seems that the farther we go down, the weirder things get. Well, today we're going to go through the top 5 deep sea creatures that probably shouldn't exist, but they do because God hates us. Up first we have the faceless Cusk eel. Yep, you heard that right, faceless, as in without a damn face. It has no discernible eyes, and its mouth sits on the underside of its head, giving it a completely smooth appearance like a slithery little aquatic Slenderman. And yes, it does look as terrifying as it sounds. This thing lives way down there, around 13,000 feet, or for those of you not in Freedom Land, around 4,000 meters. That puts it right around the hadal and abyssal zones. They seem to live in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, as far as we know. It was first discovered in 1874 during the voyage of the HMS Challenger in the Coral Sea, just outside of Australia's exclusive economic zone. It then decided to take a century-long hiatus before being rediscovered in 2017 by Australian scientists. Second in our little nightmare reel, we've got the Barreleye Fish, with its head being a dome-shaped and completely see-through. Yep, take a good look at that. Oh, and see that little smug expression? Well, that's not really what you think it is. Those two little things that look like eyes are actually its nostrils. Oh, where are its eyes? Glad you asked. Its eyes are actually those two little weird yellow orbs sitting in its head. They're actually tubular, and they rotate inside the clear dome. This gives them binocular vision, allowing them to track prey both above and in front of them. That's like me looking at you and looking at the ceiling at the same time. And it's absolutely huge, coming in at about 6 inches long, and lives around 2,000 to 2,600 feet, or 6 to 800 meters down. It stays in the Pacific Ocean, specifically being documented around California, because of course it does. California already has earthquakes, wildfires, and $20 smoothies. Why not throw in a transparent headed fish just to round things out? Its feeding habits are weird too. It hovers motionless using large flat fins, likely preying on small drifting animals, or straight up steals food from siphonophores. It was actually first discovered in 1939, but earlier scientists assumed the eyes were immobile or fixed. It wasn't until ROV footage in 2004 that its behavior was properly understood. Coming in at number 3, we have the anglerfish. Yep, we can't get away without mentioning the nightmare fish from Finding Nemo. Very accurate depiction. These guys have a pretty wide range as far as depth goes, living at 3,000 to 16,000 feet, usually sitting right around the bathypelagic zone, or better known as the midnight zone. Its most famous feature is that little light that it has hanging from its head, that is essentially a glowing fishing lure, used to attract prey in the complete darkness. The range of what this thing considers prey is pretty damn wide. Thanks to its enormous distendable jaw and flexible bone structure, it can swallow things twice its size, a skill I'm sure it learned from your mother. They have one of the best examples of sexual dimorphism found in nature, with the male being very significantly smaller than females. The males are actually considered parasitic. They mate by permanently sealing themselves onto a female, and over time completely being absorbed into them. There are actually several species of anglerfish, with the black sea devil, that thing, being the one that we think of first. And most of the time, we don't see them alive. It's almost always dead specimens that have been brought up to the surface. At number 4, we have this prehistoric looking horror show, rightfully named the Goblin Shark. Every time I feel like the world might be okay, I remember that things like this exist, and it brings me right back to reality. And Prehistoric is really not that far off. It's part of the Mitsucurinaceae family. I hope I said that right. Probably not. I am in fact not an expert. This family has a lineage of around 125 million years old, basically a living fossil. Probably the most terrifying thing about it is its mechanism for hunting prey. It has a protrusible jaw, meaning it has the ability to shoot out its entire jaw to catch prey at lightning speed. And here's an example that you didn't ask for. On top of that, its weird little goblin snout is covered with ampullae of Lorenzini, probably butchered that too. which detect electric fields of nearby prey, useful in pitch black environments. So it essentially spidey senses its food. Oh, and if you were wondering why it looks undercooked, it's because it has slightly translucent skin, meaning you can see the blood vessels under the skin. It is found around continental slopes and seamounts around 330, which is a little too close to the surface for me, and 4,300 feet, but it has been found as deep as 4,900 feet. And to close out our little aquatic freak show, we've got the deep sea dragonfish, which sounds like something you might catch in Pokemon, but unfortunately, it is just real life nightmare fuel. These guys actually have a lot in common with the anglerfish, living at about 5,000 to 7,000 feet, down in the midnight zone, aka the part of the ocean where God just kinda gave up. See-through fangs and a glowing chin dangler thing called a barbel that they use to lure prey, taking right after the anglerfish. And those freaky, transparent teeth, yeah, they're made of special nanostructures that don't reflect light, making them almost invisible, because of course they are. But wait, it gets worse. Some species can actually see and produce red light, which most deep sea creatures can't detect at all. So this thing is just strolling around with invisible headlights while everybody else is bumping into walls. It can eat prey bigger than itself, thanks to the skull that unhinges and a jaw that stretches out like something from a freaking horror movie, and see-through fangs and a glowing chin dangler thing called a barbel that they use to lure prey. It also has glowing spots along its body called photophores, probably for camouflage or flashing "eat me" in Morse code. We don't really know. The black dragonfish is the most well-known version in true deep sea fashion. The females are way bigger than the males, and way scarier. The dudes are basically useless little scraps that exist just so the species doesn't die out. If you try to bring one of these things to the surface, the pressure change pretty much explodes them, which is why we only see them in pieces. Okay, if you stayed this long, thank you so much for watching. And while you're here, you might as well hit that like button. And if you're on the toilet right now, you have to subscribe. And wash your damn hands.